And I still to this day, like, I concur with the premise, but our solution was drinking in a closet, which isn't like the best solution.
Thanks for your concern.
Welcome back to Thanks for Your Concern. This is Berenice.
And I'm Ella.
Woo!
Berenice, what's up, dude?
You know, I'm doing well. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's good. That's major wins.
It's a major win for sure. Yeah. I'm excited. I think I needed to get like a good flow. I was like a little messy depressy there for like a little bit. But now I feel like I am starting to structure my days a little better. And I don't know. I think like we have good positive vibrations. I've been very online right now. And I've just been seeing like, Tomorrowland is this weekend and the main stage
Yes.
like burned down during their fireworks test.
Yeah. I did see
Crazy.
that.
Yeah, so they came up with like a stage overnight and then they were like this will have to do and it's just like some shipping containers and in the middle it just says like unite and like but something about that is so pure to me. Like people are like give me my money back. And yes, of course like Tomorrowland like the main thing is seeing like the grandness of the stage, but I feel like this is just gonna make people touch grass. Like these are the roots of EDM. Okay,
Definitely. I mean, it is. What are they supposed to do? It's too late.
it's too late now.
Like, this is life.
Yeah,
People crash out about the weirdest things. I'm like, how do you handle like serious shit?
it's all about being able to pivot.
Right?
Yeah, and I'm with a good pivot. I'm in good spirits. Whenever something goes awry, I'm like, well, let's make the best out of this situation.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna fucking not. Oh, I want my money back. I don't want to go to Tomorrowland because one stage isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Oh well. I mean, it's gonna be a good experience.
There's still like the people that are playing, and I mean, you're paying for the headliners at the end of the day.
I don't know, maybe I'm a little jaded because I can't see the stage either way, so it doesn't really matter to
Doesn't
me.
matter.
I'm never wowed about the stage. It's because I fucking look at the back of some frat dude's head.
Yeah, you're in Europe. Have fun. But I did make an outfit for someone.
Oh,
and they're
good.
There.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
ask.
So I'll ask her for her experience later. But I hope she takes photos in that stage because she's pretty iconic.
Yeah, it's on brand.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Make it work, dude.
How are you? What have you been up to?
Tomorrow is my birthday. I'm turning 31.
A good
Big
year.
old 31. Honestly, but the thing is, I was thinking about it. We met like a couple weeks after my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's 10 years. And we've been friends since like the beginning. Like we weren't like, it wasn't like a long get to know each other. Like, we were.
Yeah, we definitely, we were set up actually. We weren't super close at the start. I think because we had like, we were in a sorority. So like you're friends with who you're in the sorority with.
Yeah.
But I remember we had another friend and the three of us were supposed to room together and she never told us that she wasn't going to come back to school until like after we did that. So I was like, okay, like I'm with it. And then we got really, really close.
Yeah, we actually were so pissed because like people were really upset that we had this 3-person room with 2 people and they were being really cunty about it, like in the bad word. Like they were being very fucking rude about it. And I just remember we were like, yeah, it does suck that we have more closet space at the expense of our friend not coming back to college because of, how the system works. That no one can afford college, and so your highest dropout years between 9th and 10th grade because people are like, dang, like everyone went to college, but no one talks about that. What happens if you can't afford college?
Yeah, and they were mad, but nobody wanted to room with us because we were messy. Not like clothing messy, like life messy.
Yeah, they didn't want the energy, which I mean, honestly, respect. That was probably like, talk about like 10 years, how much can change.
A bit. We used to, I was just on Snapchat reliving some memes, and there was one that's like us drinking. We had like, you couldn't really call it a walk-in closet. It was more of just like an extended closet with a very small entrance to it.
The same way Harry Potter under the fucking stairs is a walk-in closet. That was like what the vibe of this walk-in closet.
And you weren't allowed to drink in your sorority, but also the doors didn't lock, which another thing, like so many things, whatever, okay? And we would just go hide like in this little enclosed closet and drink there. We were sick.
In our defense, we were like, at the time, we were like, it's so fucked up that we have to go into a man's space to drink. Like, I just want to drink with my girls. And I still, to this day, like, I concur with the premise, but our solution was drinking in a closet, which isn't like the best solution.
I mean, we got pretty like out there with it. There were days we didn't care. Like the wine boxes were out. We were like, "Don't snitch. Oh, we'll snitch on you." You get enough intel on other people when like you see a man pop out of one of those rooms and you're like, "You're not supposed to be in here." That you're like, "All right, you snitch on me. I'm seeing all the men I've seen come out of all these rooms."
Also, I think people were pretty scared of us because we were not afraid of confrontation. And I don't think a lot of people had. I think this was like people's first experience like living with someone besides like their freshman roommate, which I just think is a different dynamic. And so we
Yeah,
were pretty, and I won't say aggressive, but like we'll talk things out, babes. Like let's talk about it. Like I remember one time our like house manager posted something on Facebook, and me and Berenice were like, literally in the comments, like, hey, feel free to add us next time.
that was
You don't
me.
need to like, you don't
You're
need to be
right.
passive aggressive on Facebook. Like, I'm totally fine having this conversation. And they were like, he, it's not just you guys. And I was like, okay.
I mean, I now understand some of the things. Like, they didn't want to cause anarchy, and that's why we had like chapter meetings to discuss things.
Yeah.
But chapter meetings were like 2 hours long on a Monday. So by the time we got to like, does anyone have anything they want to bring up? We were already sitting there for 2 hours. Like, no one's gonna want to raise their hands and talk about something. We want to get out of there. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you had people voting to like for fines on themselves. Like no, it was bizarre. Like people were so I don't know if they disassociated for the past like the last half hour, but there were literally like new rules we would vote on, and then the extent of it that would be people getting fined, and people would just like
yeah.
willy nilly be like, "I agree," and I'm like, "Are you listening?" I don't think so.
Honestly, it was like a microcosm of like what happens in society. Like there was like this herd mentality of like, I'll just go with it because I don't want to be seen as a problem. And I was like, no, 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 no. Like, what the fuck is the point of democracy of us voting on this shit if we're all gonna just like go in? You know, like you should hear your. I don't want to. Why are we complaining about this and then voting the opposite way that we're talking about it? It was insanity.
Well, we dropped.
Anyways, that was 10 years ago, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Our
Time
origin
flies.
story.
The origin story. Tomorrow's my birthday, 31.
Ooh.
If I was going to give like a recommendation for life, I've been going to this Pilates studio that has like older clientele, and by I mean older, I mean like legit like 80s, you know?
Oh,
I
cool.
actually love it because it's like the opposite of like Instagram Central. It's like the opposite of that. It's just like very mature women who are getting their session in because it's low impact, which is great for me. Anyways, but I think it gives you such great perspective of how much life you possibly have. You know, live every day like your last. But like I think when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to die at like 27 because I don't want to get old. Like I kind of want to do like a Marilyn Monroe where I become a really hot star and then I just fuck it. I used to think about which is really morbid for a 12-year-old, but I really that was like the plan was like to hit stardom early and then just fucking die before I got old. But when you like hang out with 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds, you're like, "Oh my god, I'm so early." I'm so happy that I'm not letting social media believe that I'm like ready to be let out to pasture.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I was like mentally unstable when I was younger, so I definitely had the live fast, die young mentality as well.
Mhm.
Hence why we were friends. There's something so beautiful about that because I was just thinking about this as well. Last summer, I was running around. Okay, I was coming out of like a little Reiki situation and I went a little feral. But now this summer, I just feel like I don't want to do that anymore. And what a beautiful time to be alive when my mentality has completely changed. It feels very calm. I don't feel like I need
I
to
love
go
it.
outside. I don't know if it's a chase of like I was questioning this. I was like, did I go out because I was chasing validation for myself from others? You know what I mean? And now that I feel like I no longer need that, I'm like, I don't know, things to think about. Journal prompt.
I will say, like, there's a pros and cons on each side. And I was literally just talking about this with a friend where I was like, the like best pro of a relationship for me is that like I stopped giving a fuck about men's opinions at all. Because when you're like you're like, I want to find my future person, you kind of have to care what men think about you just a little bit while you're trying to like, trap one. But once you've got one, you're like, yeah, I really don't give a fuck. Now I just am here for the girls. You're fully a girl's girl.
I don't know. I think you can be both. You can be a girl's girl while you're single.
Yes, but I mean, like, I feel like I'm in the embodiment of like girl power now because I'm only out here living for the girls.
Got you. Okay.
I only want validation from women now.
I think I don't know if I'm like in survival mode. There's no foundation needed other than myself right now. Make it work.
With that, are you ready to get into this episode? Okay, we have a really fun episode. I was thinking keep calm or crash out because I don't know, there's like a lot of times where I see things in like pop culture or I've just been thinking about situations and I'm like, I don't know if I would keep calm or crash out. So we're like gonna discuss the situations and which one we should do and why or
Yeah, I think I finally found like the beauty in crashing out. I was definitely more of like an inward person where like, like we'd crash out about it maybe 3 months later after we ponder about it and we avoided the feelings for 3 months. But now I've realized that there's a beauty to crashing out and letting it go.
yeah, I agree. And like honestly, I just was like, I want to bring up like funny scenarios and like I'll tell you about the one that like I was thinking what made me think about this. Dude, have you ever been on social media and the worst man that you know is now a father? Obviously, I'm not gonna crash out, but I was like, I don't know if I should have big feelings about this or not. But it's just so weird because now we're at that age where like vile men are having daughters. I don't know. I just don't know what to say about it.
Actually, it's not that common for me. I think most of the vile men in my life are still trying to find themselves. Thank goodness for that. But I do see where you're coming from. I've seen this a lot, not just with men. I think sometimes
Yeah.
with women as well. That I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But judgment free zone because I feel like it has not happened to me yet. But like obviously, like parenting, I think some different types of hormones kick in, and maybe you weren't the best friend or partner, but maybe you could be a really good.
I'll choose to believe that. But I was literally like, I was like, you know what? This is what's wrong with our society. Is this the worst people are parents? No, I'm just joking. I kept calm about it. I was like, you know what? Maybe they've grown. Maybe they're not a piece of shit anymore. You never know. People can have transformative summers, and maybe they're a good person. But I do pray that I pray that they're better. We'll say it like that.
Oh, for me, like a keep calm or crash out somewhere, I'm still thinking and pondering having to do with people and children is when people start having kids in secret.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Like, I just know too many dudes that have like
Oh.
secret kids. You know what I mean? Like, they never post them.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually not with the mom. It's usually like kind of it was like a one night stand situation or someone they had a thing with, and now they have a child, but they just like never speak of them, and then they never post them, or like kind of refuse to talk about them. I don't like that. I think if I don't have shade. Like I've never shaded somebody having kids. Like I think that's just like it happens. But when people hide it, or like if you're trying to talk to me and I ask you about your kid and you like don't want to talk about it or like have nothing to say about your kid, that's like such a turn off for me. I'm like, why?
Well, I mean, who wants to date a deadbeat dad? You know what I'm saying? And
Damn.
well, here's the thing. I don't actually have a problem with people having kids, and I think I've dated people with kids, and honestly, it was really hot. Like dating like an actual hot dad. It was so dope because it's like, oh wow, like they're a super good person, and I think how someone is as a parent completely. I mean, I think it says a lot about their character.
Yeah.
And so I know a girlfriend who had like a dude told her about his daughter pretty late in the game because I feel like that's like first date, second date kind of thing. He didn't say anything like 2 months in. It's like, well, and he's kind of like, oh, well, I provide for her. Okay, yeah, monetarily, but there's so much more to being a parent. And like, I don't know if I'm attracted to a guy who's not in his daughter's life. That seems weird to me. And also, like, where does that leave us? Because if I want to have kids, I don't want to have this kid with this who has a sibling that isn't in their life because their dad doesn't parent their other sibling. Like, what the heck is that?
Now I'm part of someone's complex.
Don't you feel like that? Like, and it's like your evil stepmom, and it's like, how can you post joy about being with this man when there's like a little girl who doesn't have her dad in their life?
Yeah, I'm like, I think not even just with children, I think it's very telling how, at least for me, how people talk about like their family members and things like that
Uh
in
huh.
dating. I'm like, if you hate your mom, you hate women. I can't, bro, I can't date you. I'm sure you're gonna end up hating me too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of men. I think it's your first relationship with a woman. Like, this is like psychology, right? Like, how you treat your mom definitely reflects on how you treat your partner. And in a way, like, I think it's very sweet that my boyfriend treats my mom, like his mom and me, very similarly. Like, it's kind of sweet, kind of weird, kind of Freudian in a way to witness, but it could be the opposite, where it's like, oh yeah, he hates his mom, so he kind of hates you. And I think also on this flip side of the coin, like when I see my girlfriends with like daddy issues, I'm like, oh girl, what a fucking uphill way to climb. Like, it's just such a tough thing to see people not have healthy relationships with their parents, because like you can like see it. And I just know because of like me in my life, you know? And it's like, I honestly am like, oh, I'm so thankful I'm a girl with mommy issues instead of a girl with daddy issues, just because of how it reflects in like how you move in the world.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because now we're getting to the age where people are like self-aware of their issues. There's like enough information that you can like see where a lot of maybe your patterns of behavior stem from. And I don't know, I sometimes don't know how to feel where it's like, girl, this is coming from like a relationship you had with your parents. Now you could either choose to challenge it or you could choose to be it. You know what I mean? And it's like now we have consciousness and we can like have accountability and not, I don't know, like it's kind of like up to us to like break that cycle. So sometimes I'm like, homie, are you choosing to break the cycle or are you just like gonna fully embrace it?
Dude, it's so crazy. I swear we're like always on the same wavelength. But I was like talking with, when I hear someone complain about their friends, about like some of their friends' actions, and I'm like, have you ever like, I was like, I wonder if you've ever given that person like what you're telling me. Have you ever told this person like, hey, like you kind of move in this kind of way, and I think it's because of your fucking dad. Like, like, do you ever say that? Like, because I don't know that you should, but I mean, maybe it would be helpful if that's actually your boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's like
Ah,
actually your friend, it's a delicate situation, but I don't know if you should be telling me about your friend's issues, you know?
yeah. I've
I don't
only
need to know
done
this.
Yeah, I've only done that with like one friend that I know like we're tight and I was like, "Girl, your daddy issues are showing. Why are you doing this?" You're right.
I tend to lean into asking questions because, like, I'm not a fucking therapist. I'm not a fucking psychologist. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you that what this shit is. Even though I fucking know. No, just joking. But I'm just saying, like, I like to ask questions about something. So I'm like, why? Have you ever thought about why you do that? Like, it seems like I think that this is like a pattern. Have you ever thought about like maybe why? And by asking questions, there's so much, I think, more open than you being like, this is why you're like this, bitch. Instead of just being like, have you ever thought about why you're like this?
Yeah, I think I tend to do that a little bit more with men when I clock some things that stem from their childhood and we have a little reflection hour. Like, do
Yeah.
you see the parallels of behavior and how that made you feel? And that's like how it's making me feel. And sometimes I have pointed that out. But you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like,
Do
so
you remember when we were like in a kitchen, the like drunk kitchen talk at like 2 a.m. and someone turns to you and goes, who hurt you? Sometimes you have to hit somebody with a who hurt you? I think with everybody, but like sometimes I hear guys like, "Oh my god, this girl in 8th grade, like she fucking burned me." Like I can't tell you how many times, and I'm like, "Do we want to carry that forever?"
Yeah, I don't
She was a
know.
child at the time, so maybe we want to like let that go that she kissed your best friend on the playground.
Well, you know what? I think that that just was the affirming belief of something that they had already thought about. You know what I mean? Like that affirmed whatever feeling. So there's something behind that. That action
Yeah.
was not your tipping burning point. Like some people are like, "Oh yeah, my ex relationship, like that was it." I'm like, "Was it, or was it your actions and the way that you reacted to something that's keeping you from moving forward?" You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Mhm.
it that I see people not get over something, they just haven't had like a, like I'm kind of like accountable for the part in my suffering that keeps you from moving on. I swear to God. Like once you understand like how you play a little bit of a role in your own cycles and shit, you're able to forgive others, forgive yourself for that version of yourself, and be like, okay, I'm gonna move differently next time, and you let it go.
It's a difficult role of healing. Like, when I'm like, oh man, I was so upset because I just like did not have boundaries and I let people disrespect me because I just like did not, because I just allowed that behavior because I was like so desperate for connection. Once you take that accountability, like that's a hard thing to say to yourself, like, damn girl, like you
You
let that shit happen, you know,
no, for
because
real.
like you let it happen because you could have walked away. It's kind of like one of those things where like, as much as this is like kind of a segue, but keep calm and crash out on commenters on the internet. Okay, let me tell you something. I just fucking delete and block people because I refuse to like allow to be bullied. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a grown ass adult. I control these comments. Someone's calling me fucking talking to me hella crazy, telling me I'm a stupid bitch. They're getting blocked. Okay, I'm gonna crash out by blocking you because I'm not gonna be bullied as an adult. The fuck?
I don't know if I've necessarily like, crashed out too much over anything that, like, over someone I didn't know doing something, unless I guess like
Yeah.
it's a topic I'm passionate about. I think I used to my crash outs and just start crying. Okay, like before I was able to communicate a little better, I just get in my feelings and cry. But I think there were a lot of times where people would say some insensitive things at fraternities, and like I would just drink and cry about it. Like I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to stand up for myself or the situation because like you're drinking a fraternity. Like 90% of those people have the same mentality. You know what I mean? Now, would I wish I would have
It's not
crashed
a
out
bed of
outwardly a few more times? Maybe, but then you just become a meme of like being like an angry brown woman, and like,
yes.
like, damn, it's an uphill battle to try to uphold poise in certain aspects. And I think with the keep calm or crash out, there's such like things of like grace and poise and class. Some people are vile, all right, and they do not deserve
Mhm.
class. Like my upbringing is gonna come out.
I swear, it's very interesting how people will say something that's like honestly pretty aggressive because the it's leading towards like violence towards certain communities, right? So you say something that's like pretty an aggressive thing to say. You might be saying it calmly or thinking that it's a joke, or right? But then like I come and I'm give just a little bit of pushback. And usually those people like fucking crumble. Like it's really interesting. And then you're the bad guy for being like, well, they didn't know what they meant. Like, oh my God, you shouldn't have attacked them like that. I'm like, wait. They just said like a slur. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean I'm the bad guy now? So that's kind of why I sometimes keep calm is because of just like the power dynamics that be your reaction to them ends up like dictating who's right. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Oh, 100%. There's like a pretty popular video. There's like people that there's some vile people that try to go and like get reactions of people on the street regarding like abortion and political issues, which if you have time to do that, like I feel sorry for you. You must not have a good sense of community out there because how sad. So basically it's this woman that goes out and interviews like women on the street kind of talking about like abortion, and at first she comes up very like unbiased, but then slowly but
Mhm.
surely it becomes like rage bait, and she went to the Bronx to do this. Like why would you do that? I don't know. Like if you know nothing about, I think the girl's from New York, so it's like if you're from New York, first of all, just don't don't mess with New Yorkers, dude. They'll be mean to you. But
Yeah.
specifically, obviously, there's places where you just don't play. Like, and I will tell you that the girl she came up to, most of the interview, she was like very put together. She was like very, she was talking about like facts and things like that. But obviously, this girl was in her face, and I mean, they're in the Bronx, so she literally stalked her. At the end of the video. And I don't condone violence, but like fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like you're in her face. You're very clearly like trying to get a reaction of her. Like what did you expect was going to happen? You're trying to manipulate her emotions.
I think there's like a special place in hell for those types of content creators because it's like you're trying to get negative attention by
Mhm.
riling people up. Like, what is that? Like, what is, I don't know. It does not seem, it's very abnormal. And I don't know why we have normalized it by like feeding into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so normal to like see these kind of interviews where people are clearly just trying to get a reaction out of people. I don't know. Would you ever do one of those interviews?
I feel like I specifically surrounding those topics, I am able to keep like more calm and know when someone is trying to get a reaction out of me. Like that's just plain old manipulation when someone's trying to get an emotional reaction out of you. And I feel like you should be able to sue people for that. Like you're harassing me. This is like some premeditation shit. Get on my face.
Uh, I don't think I would do one just because I just don't. I don't think the viewership would. I don't know, but it's kind of hard because in that the situation you're talking about, the girl kind of tricked her
Yeah.
into. Well, like I think there's sometimes where you're like, I clearly know what this is. I do think it's kind of about what you said about suing. I think it's mad weird that some people film drunk people. Yeah, because you can't really fully get someone's consent when they're drunk enough to like make a fool of themselves, and that seems like a pretty weird way to move in the world.
Yeah. A lot of people do anything for entertainment.
But I don't think I would have a hard time keeping calm in those situations just because there's like a lot of situations like where we're just kind of slipping into the loss of freedom right now. And so I'm still getting pretty hot about it because it's like this is not a joke, this is not entertainment, this is real life. Either we have body autonomy or we don't. And if we don't have body autonomy, then like what the fuck? Like that's so fucking basic. So I don't really play. And we've seen things like this play out in other countries. So it doesn't seem like fascism happens quick and fast. And people who after it happens, they're like, we never thought that was gonna happen.
No, for real. So I don't know. I think like a crash out if you're being rage baited specifically over things that involve a lot of people, like balance.
I agree.
Keep calm or crash out when your friend befriends someone that they know did you dirty.
I've had it happen a couple of times and I did crash out, bro. And at the well,
I
I don't know.
did
I
crash
was
out.
thinking about the time I did crash out. Like I'm thinking about the time that like I mean, they didn't even know the full story, but it was just like I just don't feel like I understand that in any type of way cuz it's like if your friend knows what's going on, they know the situation and they still proceed to befriend, hang out with or like I just find that very weird because there are a bajillion people in this world. Why does this person who you know has treated me poorly have to be the person that you're now recently gravitating towards?
Yeah. For me, if there was like somewhat of an established friendship and you want to surround yourself with that, I'm gonna keep calm, like whatever, like time will tell. Like I never have to do anything, like people really will show who they are themselves. But I think if it's a new friendship, you're their friend, not mine. I'm good.
I totally agree. That's what I mean. Like the new friend, established friendships, that's a little tricky. Things happen. I'm a little bit more empathetic to that situation. But like new friend,
Yeah, it's weirdo behavior. Sometimes you have to call it for what it is. Like this is weird. You're being weird. Why are you acting like this? Would you like it in reverse? People forget to act like the way they want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
I know. And also, no, I mean, no offense, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes people really don't think about it, and then that's kind of like why I question. Like, I'm like, damn, either they thought about this and thought this was a good idea, and now I'm questioning the whole friendship, or they didn't think about it, and I'm questioning the whole friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because if they thought this one through and they still thought, I don't really give a fuck, then that says something about them. And if they didn't think about it at all, I think that also says something about them. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to communicate. You really can't get away from letting somebody know how it's going to make you feel if they do something and then like doing it. You know what I mean? If you like have a weird feeling about something and you don't say anything and they do it and then it gets your feelings hurt, then I'm like, maybe I should have spoken up about that. You know what I mean? Or I should have said that was going to bother me. But then if I say it and you do it anyway, then I know like, oh wow, like this person knew. So that's why I just rather overshare.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the situation. Like, this happened like 20 years ago, but I still have some feelings about it. But like, me and this girl liked the same guy, and she was like, "Hey, like, we're in classes together next year, and like, if you try to like pursue this, like, I'm not gonna be friendly." And I, at the time, was like, "It's not that serious. Let me peace out because I don't want any drama." Like, no,
Heard.
I literally was like, "Hurt, chef," and like I told, and so I like basically like stopped talking to this guy. And like later down the line, he was like, I was not talking to her like that. Like, that's hella foul of her. Like, that I cannot believe that you were that cool. And I was like, you know, what can I say? I was that cool. I did not want the smoke, and it was that easy. So now maybe that's why I don't have empathy for other people when they do shit. Cause I'm like, I've been there, babes. And it is that easy just to be like, peace out. No beef, please.
No drama. All right. Keep calm or crash out. So I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like Coldplay is doing a tour right now, and there's like a
Mhm.
cheating scandal where like
Oh, I've
the
seen it.
couple cam caught some people cheating on their spouses, and these people dipped out of that frame so quick. I've never seen something like it in my life. If you were those partners,
Did
crash
you
out or keep calm.
Okay, so do you know who they are?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're the CEO and head of HR of a company.
Hmm.
Tell me, if I was an employee, I would be click clacking on Slack about that. But I'd be so scared, but I would be like, guys, this is hilarious. Like, I feel like I would crash out because I would need to like talk to people about it. Like, this is so crazy. And then I would get in trouble for it. If I was their partners, ooh, you would be hearing from my lawyer.
Yeah.
I would crash out legally. I would literally try to get as much as I fucking could, because you can rarely catch, like, cheating is really hard to prove in court. So
Quantize.
no, it is. It's hard to prove infidelity in court
Yeah.
because you have to have evidence. So that's why where PIs come in. Well, how do I know this? I'm gonna be honest. I care way too much about divorces. I think divorces are so interesting. Who gets what? Hopefully those they had a fucking infidelity clause in those prenups and they get a lot more than they would have. But I would be so upset because I'd be so embarrassed.
Yeah. And sometimes people have different types of relationships. Sometimes people have open relationships, sometimes they don't. Like, I really couldn't tell you how that person's going to react. And I know that there's some marriages that are like political, but then they find out and then like, now I'm going to have to react because obviously
Right.
I knew they were cheating on me, but now it's public.
Mm.
You know, you're like, damn it. Yeah, I don't know. This one's tough. I feel like you can make the biggest impact by keeping calm and not saying anything at all and like dipping out. Like, I feel like that is probably like the most power move that you can ever have. It's like, I just decided to end things and, speak to my lawyer type of thing. However, I don't know if I would choose that route per se. I think I've had chosen those type of routes at the moment before where I just dealt with the situation very calmly and I'm like, okay, this is
Hmm.
just gonna happen. But I feel like now, knowing what I know now, that sometimes when you do that, other people will just still, it doesn't keep the other person from being shitty moving forward. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
your reaction is actually not gonna matter. Like, if you deal with it with poise and grace, how they're gonna react has nothing to do with yours, to be honest. they're going to react based on who they are. So
Mhm.
you need to take care of yourself. And I think the best advice someone gave me after like I had a situation where infidelity was involved was whatever you do, do what you have to do for you. You know,
Yeah.
if you need to yell, yell for you. If you need to whatever, do it for you rather than like to get a reaction, to get in any situation with this person again, do whatever you need to do just for you.
Do you remember like Vanderpump Rules with the Tom Sandoval situation with Ariana?
Mm-hmm.
And like basically, long story short, it's Scandival, you know? Ariana
Maddox.
boyfriend
Yeah.
of fucking four for so fucking long. And this is why ladies don't buy a house with your boyfriend. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. That's why you guys know I stand fucking 10 toes down on not cohabitating with a boyfriend. And this is one of the reasons is because legally it's a whole different fucking ballpark when it's a divorce versus a separation. Anyways, Ariana's friend was having an affair with her boyfriend of like 10. And honestly, Ariana, I feel like she did not crash out enough. Like people, like she had a couple crash outs on TV, and I was like, she's being relatively calm for the situation.
Yeah. Mostly when you're like forced to be filmed. I think that on its own would make me crash out even more. Any extra attention, like
Yeah, I've always like dreamed of, well, not dreamed, but you know, you see those the Hollywood affair finder outers is that they throw things out the window. I understand that sentiment of like, I'm all of your shit gone, bitch, and I don't give a fuck about it. Just throwing it out the window.
I had oh, I haven't had that specific thing, but I did I was in a car with somebody that did me dirty and I was like disgusted and they had given me like a bunch of bracelets because you know, like rape culture. They had
Yeah.
made me a bunch, but I had just found out also that he was like taking ones that I was making for him and replicating it for another girl. And I was sick. Okay, I was sick to my
Oh,
stomach.
that is like
I was like, I've never been this disrespected in my life. And
that is beyond.
yeah, and I very dramatically took them all off and like threw them out the window as he was driving. He was like, "You didn't have to do that. That like kind of hurt my feelings." I know. I'm like, "That hurt your feeling?"
Good.
Like, imagine how I feel. It's a toughie situation.
Okay, so this is
Crash
like
out.
other, yeah, crash out, right? Would you keep calm or crash out? Love Island just wrapped, but like bombshell hits the villa. Your man comes back holding their hand from Casa Amor. Are you keeping calm? You're crashing out. How would you play like, Love Island?
You have to keep calm. I think that you can crash out when anything disrespectful occurs because you should. Like, I do not condone you sitting there and poised the entire time. Like, there's a very big difference with Love Island UK and Love Island USA. And I feel like in the US, everybody tries to be like very emotionally mature, but there's instances where, for why? Whose peas am I keeping right now? This is
Mhm.
PR, bro. Like, me not telling you to go fuck yourself because I'm gonna not like lack class online, like that does nothing for me. Mostly if you're being a fuck, like truly. But I think in a situation where there is a potential threat to your relationship, all right, well, whether you're feeling insecure or not, you have to play the game. And the game is to fake it till you make it. Like keep as calm as you can. You attract what you fear. All right, it's like whatever law, like Murphy law
Mhm.
or whatever. It's like what you most fear, like you're attracting. So you better zip, go befriend that girl. All right,
Yeah.
anyone that you feel could be in any sort of way, like a threat or whatever. I would say like do what you feel like you shouldn't, and sometimes that does mean just go befriend those people. Whether you think that's like calculated or manipulative, I feel like that's just strategy. Okay. You feel somebody is a threat, go make sure you're their friend. And then you can work together. It's not against each other.
I feel to keep calm because honestly, like people aren't possessions, and if you can take my man that easily, take as in like he's ready to drop me for you, that's not my man. You know what I'm saying? My man, my man, my man. I
What?
just
Yeah, but like sometimes it's not even that nonchalantly. Like you develop feelings for people and you aren't gonna get like the anxiety monster, the insecurity monster. Mostly if somebody comes in and they're like beautiful, like I feel like that's just a human reaction. Of course,
Mhm.
the rational thing is to be like, well, if they like that, of course. But like when you're emotionally attached to somebody, you obviously get a little bit of like that.
I think it's very human to freak out or just like get like really anxious. Like, okay, girl, this is someone who this is when I was 21, I would act a little crazy. You know, I would crash out in that villa. You know what I'm saying? Like, God fucking blessed me with not putting me on one of those shows because I would have fucking lost it. But I feel like now I just feel like I don't I just don't like to see other women as like competition for the prize being a man. Like I just don't love that. It's like this is about like connection and if we're not connecting and you would prefer this connection with this other person just based on looks or cuz you don't have the same emotional connection as you do with me cuz you just fucking met them, then that's just not my person, right?
Yeah, I get that. But I don't know. I feel like, at least for me, I definitely sometimes get the insecure monster. And whenever I have befriended like the girl, I end up thinking they're a cool ass girl. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I kind of get it.
I agree. Well, that's the thing is like these girls are beautiful, and so it's like
Yeah.
I feel like comparison's the thief of joy, you know. So it's like if I really break down and comparing myself to every girl that I see because I'm attracted to most girls, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like that girl's fucking hot. I would, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
befriending is always good, but
Yeah.
y-
Yeah.
yeah,
I've had this probably like 3 times that I can vividly remember where there's like another girl situation in the picture for one reason or another, maybe. And I've always just chosen to be cool, and they have also chosen. Well, one girl did push me at the, but the other two chose to be cool with me. And it didn't end up looking so good for her because she pushed me at the club. So less reaction. It's never about the girl anyway. It's about the dude. Okay, like
right.
if you want to feel secure and they're not doing that, then that's probably not the right dude.
I mean, let me tell you, the only time I was in like a true love triangle, this girl was so nice and like she was like, oh, she was like, I just feel like I can't compete with you, and I was like, girl, we're not competing. Please don't fucking. I'm like, don't say that. And I literally texted him and I was like, I'm not down for this like sister wife shit that's going on because I'm being hella cool. She's a hella cool girl. She's being hella cool. You're kind of being the shithead in this situation. And I literally said, like, I'm not down for the sister wife shit. Like, we cannot do this. And guess what? He texted me back.
I don't want to know. Do I want to know? It's gonna be
He
something
literally
stupid.
he was like, this isn't sister wives, but I feel like you should be open to this arrangement. It could work out for everybody.
If we didn't have boyfriends who were kind to us, I'd be like, society is doomed. um,
I know, right? But yeah, can
yeah,
you believe that? And so I
yeah.
was like, see, this really isn't the right guy, right? Because it's not like, oh my god, what are you talking about? It's not like that. It's like, let's not use that label, but like this could be cool. I'm like, yeah, for you, but not for me and her.
Yeah. The right answer is always to keep calm. Like, I think in those situations, it's easy to crash out after you have kept calm because I feel like most
Yeah.
people originally keep calm and then something warrants the crash out, but never crash out of the girl.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that like I feel like sometimes on these shows it frames it as like, oh, like they're competing. It's a woman versus woman. It's like, nah, this is more like an issue between me and this guy. And I think that there's like something in between a crash out and keeping calm, and that's where I live now, which is calmly telling people to fuck off,
Yeah,
calmly saying, please go eat shit, because that avoids the like full burnout crash out that I've had in the past is when you clearly communicate. I'll be like, you know what, this is very uncool of you to both me and this other girl who seems quite lovely. Like you kind of are the one that looks like a shithead right now. Do you want to be a shithead? Do you like being a shithead?
100%. I think I haven't fully crashed out in a while. Thank goodness for that. I think my last
Right?
crash out was kind of funny. I literally, I my crash outs are just like so. I run like I'm a runner. Like I've done some vile things. Don't get me wrong. Some people have seen it from me, but it's usually like one guy like triggered me, and I wanted to flee New York. I was like, I hate this city. Like the Billie Eilish edit. You made me hate this city. I was out.
Yeah.
I was like, put me on a flight back to Washington today. The plane never left. I felt real silly after that.
Yeah, I think we've got about 2 years on my crash out counter. So, but the last time I crashed out, I was like, my life is over. Like this is all meaningless. Da, 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 da. And then it's like, I was chill. Like took me a little bit, but you're chill like 4 months later, right?
If you have really strong like emotional reactions and people know that about specific things, you're more like easily emotionally manipulated. And that's
Mhm.
just always something to keep in mind in a situation where like, is this person trying to get a reaction of me or trying to manipulate my emotions? Let me keep calm so I don't give them what they're looking for.
Great advice.
And then you can choose how to act. If you want to let it out, more power to you. I love female rage. I don't know. Now we're moving away from female rage, and I'm like sad about that. What
Let's bring it
happened?
back. I don't know. I think we're all in shock of what's going on in the world. I'm sure female rage is gonna come back in like
A couple of
before the
years.
midterm elections. Don't
Like,
worry.
I hope so. Yeah,
All right.
it's the trad wife movement. You're
Not
sending us
that.
back. You're sending us back.
Honestly, we could probably do a part 2, part 3, part 4 to this.
So many, and so many crash outs to come.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Tell us what time when you calm and you wanted to crash out, or you crashed out and wish you would have kept calm. We love you so much. Make sure that you subscribe to this and tell a friend and rate us. It helps us out a lot. And you can find us on social media at thanks number 4 your concern, and I'm at LL Tutor.
I'm at Berenice ADSM.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.